Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and this is your network update for February 2020. Okay everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a network update, and the first thing I want to talk about is Extra Life. 2019 was Nerd on the Street's 5th year participating in Extra Life, and we really topped ourselves a lot, both on the production side and on the charity side. On the production side, we did a 28-hour live stream, the longest we've ever done. Of course, we had the usual technical difficulties, but we also had a lot of cool new stuff. Chat bridges connecting all the different chat rooms on the different websites we were streaming to. We had a lot of cool stuff that we did during the stream. And we raised a grand total of $2,385 for the St. Louis Children's Hospital in the course of that 28-hour live stream. Over $2,000. All we had to do was live stream for 28 hours straight, and we raised over $2,000 for the St. Louis Children's Hospital, just us. And it's thanks to everyone who donated. I know Scott Pollier, a Nerd Club member, donated a couple times. Extra Life has actually taken the donation pages offline because they reset for the new year already. But that is thanks to everybody who tuned in and donated over $2,000 in a single stream for charity. That is incredible. Now, the Nerd on the Street team on Extra Life, which consisted of Nerd on the Street ourselves, as well as the Mightcast Experience, a group that actually flew in to do our stream with us, our two streams combined raised a total of $3,998 for the Children's Miracle Network. The $2,300 that Nerd on the Street raised, like I said, all went to the St. Louis Children's Hospital, and then the stuff that the Mightcast raised went to the Alberta Children's Hospital in Canada. So yeah, Extra Life was a big success. There wasn't really any question of whether it would be a success. You can never go wrong raising money for charity, and we've seen huge growth in our Extra Life streams the past few years. I actually don't know how we're going to top 2019. I don't know if we're going to do Extra Life the same way again because I went back to St. Louis back in November to do that stream, and that was a lot of hassle. So I don't know what we're going to do for 2020, if we'll do Extra Life here in Denver or if I'll go back to St. Louis again. But thank you so much to everybody who tuned in and watched and who donated to that. Definitely a big success. The next thing I want to talk about is Displaced Season 3. Episode 1 of Displaced Season 3 has finally been released. It's been over 3.5 years since Season 2 ended, and for that entire time, I've been slowly chipping away at Episode 1 of Season 3. Now, those of you not in the know, Seasons 1 and 2 of Displaced were a machinima series. They're over on the Nerd on the Street creative channel. I wrote a story. I had voice actors. I had friends come in and voice act the characters. And then we acted the story out in Minecraft. I edited it together. I put cool music over it that I wrote myself. And Seasons 1 and 2 of Displaced were awesome. And we went 3.5 years without a single episode because for Season 3, I decided to switch away from Minecraft and actually animate the show in Blender. Those of you who have been watching Nerd on the Street content the past few years, you've heard me talk about this. I'm so relieved to finally have an episode out. Now, I've had some people ask me, oh, is this going to be a weekly release like the first 2 seasons were? And the answer is no. The first 2 seasons, we were really able to grind out episodes really quickly because even though it was a lot of work and we did a very good job at putting all of that machinima stuff together, the reason why that was possible, the weekly releases, were because we were doing machinima. We were able to hop into Minecraft, act out the scenes, and in a relatively short time have all the footage we need to then edit and upload. For Season 3, I have to carefully plan out every single shot. I have to orchestrate it in Blender, model it, texture it, animate it. Then I have to wait for it to render. I have to wait 24 to 48 hours before I can even see if the shot's gonna work after it's done rendering. And then from there, I've either got another couple seconds of video to throw into the editor, or I go back to the drawing board in Blender if I want to tweak something in the shot. So it took a very long time to make Episode 1 of Displaced Season 3, and it's gonna take a while to make Episode 2 as well. You can go watch the premiere live stream, which I'll upload a recording of. It was actually part of our Extra Life stream. We premiered Episode 1 of Displaced Season 3. I'll put the recording clip of that on the creative channel as well if you want to go and listen to me talk about that a bit more. But definitely everybody go and watch episode 1 because it's out, it's polished, it's pretty much exactly how I would have wanted it. We had a little bit of an audio issue with Kdenlive and MLT that was very difficult to even attempt to work around, and I'm probably not going to use Kdenlive for episode 2. I'm looking at alternatives due to those audio issues, which have just been in Kdenlive forever. I've been using Kdenlive for the majority of the 7.5 years I've been doing Nerd on the Street. And that entire time, Kdenlive just adds audio crackles to things. And other editors don't have that problem. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic now. Go check out episode 1 of Displaced Season 3 on the creative channel. The next thing I want to talk about is something that you guys here on the tech channel will probably care about a little bit more. And this is tech questions in the comments. And especially what I consider to be tech support questions in YouTube comments, as well as other places. I've been doing Nerd on the Street for quite a while now, and I have gotten a large number of questions over the years and an increasing number in the past year or two as Nerd on the Street continues to grow thanks to all of you guys watching the videos and bumping it up in YouTube's analytics, which makes them recommend it to more people. You know, I appreciate that so much because I really do enjoy making these videos more than I enjoy doing other things, at least, and one day I do hope to grow this into a sustainable company that I can actually work on full time. That's still long-term what I'm trying to do. But over the last couple of years, I've gotten emails, I've gotten Twitter questions, Twitter direct messages and mentions. I've gotten people messaging me on Facebook. People have messaged me on the Nerd on the Street page, which is fine. And people have also messaged me on my personal page, which is not fine, and I usually block them because it's a personal page. And most recently, the one that's been kicking up a lot is the Nerd on the Street Discord server. Now, Discord is a chat client primarily for gaming. If you're not a gamer, if you're part of the older crowd, I know we've got a number of older folks who watch Nerd on the Street videos, and you guys might not know what Discord is. It's incredibly popular with, I'll say, millennials. And Discord, basically, it is proprietary. The reason why it took off so much is because when Discord launched, I think it was back in 2015, I hopped onto it pretty quickly. And the reason was because it was one of the first services ever to use WebRTC, which meant before Discord, if you wanted to actually talk to somebody over voice chat, you would have to download Mumble or TeamSpeak or another program on your computer to chat with somebody, and then somebody would also have to set up a Mumble server. I'll use Mumble as the example because Nerd on the Street used to use that before Discord. We had a Mumble server that you could go on to if you wanted to talk to me or other members of the Nerd on the Street community over a voice chat. But we had to host a Mumble server, and that's something I hosted for a long time. That was back when I was able to home host things, which was a lot easier than these days. I have to host everything in the cloud because I'm in an apartment and I can't keep servers in here. But Discord was a service that provided a free platform where you could spin up very easily Discord servers. And the word servers is a misnomer with Discord because it's all on Discord's servers. You can't host your own Discord server, but basically you go onto it, you can use a web browser, you can also use their Electron app for any platform, but the big feature when it launched was that you could voice chat from your web browser. That was, this was a Skype killer back in the day. It blew people's minds that you didn't have to download anything. You could just open up a web browser and go to a website and voice chat with people. So Nerd on the Street got a Discord server way back then. We've used it for some stuff. We mainly used it for like Minecraft server coordination for years, and then the Minecraft server eventually shut down. Recently, I've been getting a lot of people asking questions on the Discord server about Linux, and more specifically about some of the stuff that I make videos on often, like Nextcloud servers or Active Directory authentication, just anything that I make a video about. Eventually somebody comes and asks a question about, hey, I'm trying to set this up, it's not working, can you help me? Now for tech support emails, a couple of years ago now, I actually started sending people a link whenever they emailed me with a tech support question. I would reply to their email with a link to the Nerd on the Street forums, and I would say basically, please ask your question on the Nerd on the Street forums. I don't do free tech support via emails, but you can go to the Nerd on the Street forums and I'll try and help you there. And that has a number of benefits. For one thing, it's people using and signing up for my website, which as the owner of the website I like. It also has other benefits, like people in the future with the same questions can go and read the forum posts and not have to email me separately. That saves them time and it saves me time. So for those reasons and more, I stopped answering emails for tech support, and I started saying, if you want tech support, go to the forums. And that's worked fairly well. It has cut down a large number on the questions that I get, because a lot of the times people will email me, and then when I ask them to sign up for my forums, they just don't. They'll either just not reply and I'll never hear from them again, or they'll say, okay, well, if I'll try a little bit more, if I can't figure it out, then I'll go to your forums. Probably 1 out of 4 times that I send that link to somebody, they actually go and repost their question in the forums. And then if I have an answer, then I'll reply. So that's worked pretty well. However, the Nerd on the Street Discord server, it's been interesting because, like I said, when I started that Discord server back in 2015, I think that was the year, I started it basically to play Minecraft with people, right? I started it back when Nerd on the Street had a Minecraft server, and when I played that game for fun on a regular basis, and for other games too, like Toontown Rewritten. This was back when I used to do gaming live streams more often because I had more time. So I would point people at the gaming streams to the Discord server, and that was kind of an area where people could hang out. Whenever I did a stream, I would ping the Discord server, and anyone who was online might go and watch the stream. So that was the original purpose of the Nerd on the Street Discord server, but since we don't have a Minecraft server anymore, I don't do gaming streams anymore, and I've been thinking about getting back into it, but I can't really justify it right now. For those reasons, the Nerd on the Street Discord server basically doesn't need to exist anymore. Now, the reason why I haven't deleted it is because there are a lot of people in there that I care about. People who have watched my videos and watched my streams over the years, and I would hate to lose contact with them altogether if I don't need to. So I've kept the Discord server around just to sort of have a place where I can keep in touch. It's not like I talk to them super often. It's kind of the Facebook problem where you've got all these friends in your friends list on Facebook who you don't actually talk to, but you have them in your friends list just in case you ever do want to talk to them. I've kept the Discord server around just in case I ever do start doing gaming streams again, or if I ever want to talk to any of those people. But recently, and by recently I mean the last 6 months or so, we've had a lot of people coming into the Discord server, and sometimes they'll just start talking. A lot of times they'll actually see my username in the sidebar and they'll ping me. And when they ping me, that's a direct question from me, and they're not asking anybody else in the server. There are many other people in the server than me, but they only care about my input, and they ask me questions which, quite frankly, usually are ill-informed and indicate that they've done something wrong in following one of my videos. You know, if you're trying to deviate from a tutorial, that's fine. But a lot of times it really is that they've done something wrong, or they didn't read something, or they're not understanding some concept of something that I covered in a video, and they're wanting me to personally take the time to sit down and explain it to them. Half the time these people don't even really speak English, but even when they do, I don't have time to do that. Now, when I graduated from college, I was working in a network operations center as a junior network engineer. So most of my working day was going to work, dealing with other IT professionals in an internal environment, and dealing with networking concepts. Routers, switches, firewalls, load balancers. And so I would come home at the end of the day and, I hadn't touched Linux all day, so I'm perfectly happy to talk to people about Linux. And then all day at work, I've been dealing with other people who are on the same level as me or above. I mean, I was in an entry-level position. We were in a huge Fortune 50 company with a really great IT infrastructure division. So everybody there knew at least a bare minimum. We had times when we had to explain networking things to a server person, or we had to have a developer explain something to us about how their application needs to traverse across the network. But everybody there at least was an IT professional. Now, the place I'm working at, that's not exactly the case. And this is one of my regrets about coming to my current position, is that my previous job was an IT job. Currently, what I'm working in is basically a Linux-aware customer service position. I'm talking to a lot of people who don't know anything about Linux all day for my day job, and I'm explaining very basic Linux concepts to them, and sometimes more complicated concepts, depending on what the issue is. And so when I come home at the end of the day, that has two ramifications. Number one, I've been working with and talking about Linux all day. So I'm not super keen on continuing to talk about the exact same thing for the rest of the day. Second ramification is I've been answering, I don't want to call them stupid questions, but I've been answering basic questions all day, right? And when I come home at the end of the day, and I've been getting paid to answer basic questions all day, I don't have motivation to turn around and answer basic questions for free. If I'm doing this as my day job now, before my day job was something else. So yeah, I'll answer questions for free in my free time. But now my job is to do that. So I'm not going to spend hours trying to understand how people are screwing something up to answer. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, this is probably going to be a longer network update, is because I've posted some YouTube comments recently. And some Discord messages recently and other things. And I do know that I've come off a little harsh recently when I've been responding to YouTube comments. I used to sit down and start reading YouTube comments either on my phone or on my computer. I'd go into YouTube Studio and start scrolling through comments, and it used to be a cool thing. Like, oh, let's read what people are saying to me. And in response to my videos, and it was a sort of a social thing. In the past few months, every time I've gone to check YouTube comments, it's really just felt like more of a cleanup than anything else. And so I wanted to address this. I've made some changes on the Discord server because like I said, I do customer service and I get paid for it now, and I want to minimize the amount of customer service I have to do for people who aren't paying me. So on the Discord server, I've basically locked down tech questions on there. You can still go there. The general room is wide open. The tech room is wide open for general discussion. But there is a support channel, and if you have a tech question, especially for me, it has to go in the support channel. It cannot go anywhere else. And the only people who have permission on the Discord server to talk in the support channel are Nerd Club members. Because like I said, the big differentiating factor here is when I'm getting paid for it or when I'm not. And $3 a month, this is not like I'm holding anything over you. I want to help people in general use open source and free software, and that's why I make the videos in the first place. I don't need to respond to anybody's comments. I could just keep making videos silently and still be making a positive impact. But for those of you who actually do support me and who help grow Nerd on the Street by being a Nerd Club member, you guys, I'm more than happy to take a few minutes out of my day and answer questions when you're trying to use a new application on Linux and you can't figure something out. More than happy to do that because you're supporting me. If you're not supporting me, you can watch my videos and that's it. If you ask a tech question in the Discord server and you're not a Nerd Club member and you post it in the wrong channel, then I'm not answering your questions. Similarly, in YouTube comments, I'm going to probably cut down on reading those in general a bit. I used to moderate every single YouTube comment, which YouTube's kind of funny on when they expect comments to be moderated and when they don't. I'll probably still try and read them, but I'm not going to be answering. Before, if there was a question mark in a comment, I would try and give it at least a reply. But if all these replies are just going to be me being a jerk to people, basically, and calling people stupid, that doesn't look good, and it doesn't help them either. So I'm just going to, if I see a question and I don't have time for that, I just won't respond. And that'll be kind of how I try and move forward here. Now that still leaves the Nerd on the Street forums as a place where you are welcome to go and start forum topics about questions that you've got. Now I've had people make a forum topic and then not get a response, and then a day later or 2 days later they'll private message me on Twitter, hey, why didn't you respond to my forum message? Because I'm not obligated to respond to your forum messages is the reason, and because if I don't have an answer for you, if I don't know the answer, or once again, if I don't have time to research whatever application it is that you're trying to use, then I won't respond to your forum message. And that's just how life goes sometimes. I've made plenty of Reddit posts that don't get any comments. That's just how things go. But I do want to remain open to reading and usually at least responding to people who post on the Nerd on the Street forums. So if you want free tech support, go to my free website, make a free account. You can get free tech support over there. You can't get it through Discord or YouTube comments any longer, just like I have stopped answering in emails and private messages on social media platforms. So I wanted to elaborate on that and tell you guys what I've been thinking and why I'm doing that. It's just something that's been on my mind for a while. Sorry if that got a little long, but once again, if there's anybody I've responded to on a YouTube comment recently, if you've asked a tech question and you've gotten an answer from me that was less than satisfactory, I do apologize. But yeah, once again, I do this stuff all day and I get paid for it. And it doesn't make sense for me to spend more time doing it in my free time when I could be actually making videos, which are far more helpful and reach far more people than responding to individual YouTube comments. So there's that. Speaking of the Discord, we did add a new community members role. So if you're one of those people who has been around for a while and who has just chatted with me in the Discord, those people are marked out on their own color in the Discord server. That's supposed to just be a little bit of recognition. Before, Nerd Club members were already their own role, but everybody else, whether you're somebody who's never sent a single message in that server or if you've been around for years watching Nerd of the Street content, they were all just mixed in together. And even though I do prioritize Nerd Club members above all else, I still do appreciate the people who just watch content. And so those people who watch content and who interact with the community, you'll get tagged with that community member's role on the Discord. And speaking of the Nerd on the Street website, I've been working on a new dark mode for it. I've been not unhappy with the current state of the Nerd on the Street website recently, but for a long time, I've been slowly improving the Nerd of the Street website, improving the theme, making it cleaner, making it more enjoyable to use and less cluttered. And clearly, I still have a way to go because a lot of people still watch my videos on YouTube, and the goal is to have everybody want to go and watch at nerdonthestreet.com instead. You can watch my videos and you don't need an ad blocker. There won't be any pre-roll ads on the videos at nerdonthestreet.com right now. There will be sidebar ads unless you're a Nerd Club member, but you can watch all my videos without connecting to Google servers at all, which is a big thing, and I worked a lot to achieve that. Google and YouTube could disappear entirely, and nerdonthestreet.com and all of my videos would still be accessible. So I do want to make sure that the website is fun to use. And just this weekend, I took some time since I am finished with Displaced Season 3 production and I can kind of do some other miscellaneous things that I've been neglecting for a while. I've been working on a dark theme for Nerd on the Street's website, and I've also been improving the light theme at the same time. I'm trying to keep them as similar as possible layout-wise and just make it basically colors that are changing. So yeah, if you haven't been to the Nerd on the Street website for a while, definitely go check that out. And aside from that, that's really all I have. Now that Displaced Season 3 has at least premiered, I know there's still 7 more episodes to make, and considering that it took me 3.5 years to make one episode, I don't know how long it's going to take to make the rest of this season, but I am going to take a load off of that for at least a little while. I'm going to catch up on some other things like the Nerd on the Street podcast that's been behind for a while. Basically, I didn't want to upload anything else to the Nerd on the Street creative channel until I got episode 1 of season 3 out of Displaced, because I knew if I uploaded anything that's not Displaced to that channel, the subscribers over there would just kill me, because I've been teasing season 3 for way too long. So it's finally out now. You've got what I've been promoting, at least episode 1 of it. And so I'm going to be catching up on Extra Life recordings, podcasts. I'm working on some tech videos. Right now, I'm actually running into a problem where I'm out of SSD space. I've got a 1 terabyte SSD in my desktop there. And then I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive in my own laptop. My laptop has a 256 gig SSD, and then my work laptop also has a 256 gig SSD. Every single drive in this room right now is kind of full. And I was recording a video, and it's going to be a really great video when the editing's done, but I was recording it in 4K with this beautiful new camera that I've got because I was doing a cool project. It was hardware heavy, so I'm like, I should record this in 4K, make it super high quality for everyone. And I just completely ran out of SSD space. I've been low on SSD space for a long time. Like every single time I make a video, I'm basically dealing with 10 gigabytes or less of free space while I'm editing, because I edit in ProRes where the videos are dozens or hundreds of gigabytes large each. But with this 4K video that I recorded, the files are large enough to fill everything up before even converting them to ProRes. And so I've just completely bottlenecked my entire production line for tech videos. I'm working on editing them in Olive Video Editor right now because Olive can play back 4K video without needing to be in an editing codec. It can play them back fairly smoothly. It does crash every 10 minutes or so because it runs out of RAM. It uses all 96 gigs of the RAM in my computer and crashes every 10 minutes or so in Olive Video Editor. But I'm working on editing that. I am going to purchase another SSD for editing, and that's going to be a larger one. Not the best financial situation right now. I've kind of been bleeding out since I moved to Denver, and that situation is going to improve in May. Of course, it's only February, so I'll probably get an SSD before May, but I'm not at the point right now where I can just walk out and buy an SSD. I could do that about a year ago at that job in St. Louis, where there are reasonable costs of living. This piece of crap city taking a little bit more out of me. So keep an eye out for tech videos, but it might be at least a little while longer. If you guys want to chat, go to nerdonthestreet.com. I'm just going to stop saying to leave comments on the videos because I don't appreciate them a lot of the time anyway. So if you want to chat, nerdonthestreet.com, best place to reach me. And aside from that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.